Then bubble reved. Okay, so, this month's hair color, once again, Garnier Nutrice Ultra Color in Blue Curacao, Intense Pure Indigo. It implies to start with medium brown for best results. Or at least it says front of box results, which we know is like their... I mean, it's implied to be the recommended best, so... So yeah, I wriggled my jeans off before I... just as this was starting, but I am wearing underpants, so... So I am really behind on YouTube watching right now, which instead I am filling that void with various shows. I've started watching Bates Motel because, gosh, I got into, well, the whole Chris Chan thing. Honestly, that kind of started it, because it's fairly common knowledge that Ed Gein was one of the major influences on the, for the character of Norman Bates. And honestly, like, if you look up some of the stuff that's been known about Gein's home life before his mother died, it's there are some really interesting parallels between the Gein case and what the hell is going on with Chris Chan right now, or Chris Chan's life in general. Because, okay, some people, I don't know how widespread this belief is, but some people think there is reason to believe that Ed Gein was on the autism spectrum. People point to stuff like his habit of generally keeping to himself. Crap, no, don't. Scott 444. So yeah, I was starting about Gein, right? So, now this is all speculative. In fact, like most of the people who relay this, admit that it is fairly, just speculative that Ed Gein may have been on the autism spectrum, possibly, like, we don't know much about his childhood, but, we do know that, a lot of the neighbors would say, oh, he was a little odd, but, they assumed he generally meant well, that he was especially socially awkward, but kept to himself, didn't seem to have the greatest grasp of, various social conventions in ways that seem fairly common with ASD. So yeah, like I said, it's purely speculative, but it's not without reason that Ed Gein may have been autistic. Obviously, like, he's long since died. I believe he was executed. I know there's a few cases where the person died before the execution could take place. But I think Gin was indeed executed. So yeah, like if we assume that he was, somewhere on the autism spectrum, like that already correlate, at least parallels with the Chris Chan case. He also had an older brother, though I believe full brother, and Chris Chan is known to have, well, a few older half-siblings, but one especially on his mother's side who can't stand her. In fact, well, he also, Cole Smithy also seems to have especially hated Bob, who would be Chris Chan's father, so, Cole's stepdad. Okay, I had a fucking pair of crappy scissors in here. You don't want to go breaking open your thing with your good hair scissors. In fact, one time, Best X used my good hair scissors for something that was not personal hair grooming, and I almost killed him. But, like, that was seriously the worst thing Best X ever did, was, used my good hair scissors on something that was not his own personal grooming. I think it was clipping a coupon out of something, but, and he did replace my good hair scissors. Like when I explained to him, like, no, there is a reason that your mother does not want, didn't want you using her good scissors from her sewing kit for doing X, Y, and Z. And that's because it dulls the blade, for, those purposes. So, it looks like I'm gonna take tweezers and just, like, kind of pop open the film part. Seriously? I'll be right back. Wait. No, of course not. That might make sense. Okay. Not an especially crappy pair of scissors I found, but crappy enough. Okay, so yeah, and if memory serves, I think, Gein's brother not only was very unfond of their mother, especially when compared to Gein himself, but, is believed to, I think this is the one where, his brother is believed to have disappeared under mysterious circumstances, and some suspect Gein, killed his brother, to, in some sense of defending their mother. But yeah, this is some Ed Gein level shit here, and the reason that, like, one of my initial thoughts went to Ed Gein when the news very first broke about Chris Chan was so okay, there's like a dozen or so fairly decent true crime videos about Ed Gein. I know Bailey Sarian's done Ed Gein. I can't remember if Eleanor Neal did one or not. But yeah, Bailey Sarian definitely. One of the few true crime YouTubers who is a woman, but not a red-haired one. Seriously, am I the only one to notice this, that a lot of the major true crime YouTubers are not only women, but red-haired as well? Like, this is just so weird It is such a specific thing, you know? Oh, it is so goddamn specific, and yet it is a thing. Like Stephanie Harlow, okay, hers is very obviously like not a natural red. I'm pretty sure Eleanor Neal is a natural red. Brooke McKenna, I'm not sure if hers is natural or if she's just very good about the upkeep relative to the filming videos. Georgia Marie Auburn, but you know, she's a bit on the browner side of Auburn, but Auburn is red. It's not ginger. It's a different set of genes that produce ginger. In fact, it's a specific mutation that produces that bright ginger hair. But God. I swear to God, I've seen more since the Bug Boys were last here a week ago than I saw before. It's driving me fucking nuts. Then again, there's also been a lot of work being done on the apartment downstairs from me. Which makes me think that there's a bunch coming in from down there. I know, I'm not doing my usual divide into quarters this month. But yeah, the whole thing with Geen was, while some early on speculated Geen might have been trans, this has long since been dismissed. That, like, no, Geen was very specific, that he didn't, you know, to use 1950s verbiage, as that was Geen's day, didn't want to be a woman, just enjoyed dressing up in various things like his belt made of velvet, and I think he had a breast vest. I don't know, had a lot of really weird shit that he did with tanned human skins, which very creepy, that guy, right? But yeah, like, aside from the whole thing, and of course there is, like, significant, at least word of mouth, to suggest he did indeed at least cannibalize him. Whether this was a living victim or desecrated corpse is anybody's guess. At least I don't remember anyway. But then what happened was, yeah, I don't know, I got to thinking about that, and I'm just like, you know, if I just keep watching various Chris Chan YouTube videos directly, I'm gonna feel very depressed again. Because yeah, this was somebody that I kind of knew about on the periphery. One of those deals where I, you know, just because of, like, where I live, like, I lived in Charlottesville for most of the summer of 2004, so I knew about Chris on the periphery. I mentioned this in, like, the first live stream I did, where I talked about their case and the latest turn it took. And so yeah, like not somebody that I knew. In fact, like a couple people seemed confused. They seemed to think that I mean, not anybody from the stream. Somebody from one of the things. I think the Reddit seemed to think that I was talking about the Fashion Square Mall, and I was like, no. This was about the downtown mall in Charlottesville, which is like a very different thing. Like if you're familiar with the Los Angeles and Universal City, like the whole like film industry area of the Los Angeles area. Oh, right. Think more Universal City Walk, right? Like that kind of mall, or the Hollywood, I think Highland Center, where it's more like a traditional shopping mall with, I think it's 2 or 3 stories, but it's got no roof on it. So yeah, think that. Like, that's the downtown mall in Charlottesville, Virginia. It's not your traditional, you know, like, roofed-over mall. It's like, you know, like, think instead like a glorified strip mall, but instead of chain stores, I think, at least when I was there anyway, I think they give I think the owners of the property get some kind of kickback from the city if they prioritize local businesses. At least this was the impression I got the summer I lived in Charlottesville. Because there were like no chain stores, at least when I was there. But yeah, a couple of the downtown mall rats, you know, so like local street kids, a bunch of, you know, wanderers like myself, or at least as that was my condition at the time. I was not one of these people, but it's like, you know, like I said in that first stream about Chris Chan, or at least where I addressed the topic, like, the Christian has like a Rain Man level of understanding money. And so I did end up watching Rain Man after I ended that stream, and I did still very much want to punch Tom Cruise's character in that. Like, he always plays such punchable characters. Knowing that he's a Scientologist certainly doesn't help, but he always plays such punchable characters. Like, guys that you just need to punch in the face, right? And just guys you need to punch in the face. Guys whose, like, primary problem could probably be solved with a swift punch in the face, right? Like, that's your basic Tom Cruise character. And while that was one of his less punchable roles, I still went through a good, like, 75% of that movie wanting to punch him in the face, right? So, where was I going? Right. Shit. This is always fun. I even put gloves on. What the shit? This always happens. Oh, hey, Siska's on! Borada Siska, good morning! The color is, I've got a few more boxes, for, September, October, November, and then I'm going back a shade darker. This is, IN2 Blue Curacao from, Garnier Nutrice. Basically, I had a coupon, so I stocked up. Had a couple of coupons and sales and stuff. Like a couple months in a row, so I stocked up and seriously? Okay. Well, at least I'm not going back to the bar until Monday, and it's Friday, right? So, I got a few days for this to come off my hands. There we go. I need to tighten the springs on this shit too. Okay, 45 minutes. That's not doing great, but oh well. iodine. Okay, so time over here, it's okay, so if it's 4:51 for you, it's about 10:51 for me. Just because the well, I know I logged on at about 10, so or 10:30, so let's see. Oh, yep, 10:54. Okay. Back in the kitchen, I get to plug this thing back in and plug it back in because the phone is down on charge. Okay. Oh, yeah, hair dye gets kind of pricey. Yeah, I did. Now I stopped doing the henna from Lush, just in part because it costs so much. It worked out to be about double what I pay to, it ended up being about twice the price of a box of this, and oddly, my hair seems to be in slightly better condition since going back to the quote-unquote drugstore hair color. I don't know what the hell is up with that. Maybe it's the maybe it's something to do with the I'm thinking like, because there's that little oil ampule in there. I don't know if there's some kind of like vitamin formula in there or what. The color is also a lot more regular. It's a lot more uniform. So, yeah, I mean, I know that seems very counterintuitive. You'd think a big block of henna with cocoa butter would be a lot better, and I'm sure for most people it is, but my body is freaking weird, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way. I mean this because, like, all basic rules seem to be opposite in my case. Like, well, I mean, then there's the fact that, like, my dad's side of the family, like, barely even goes gray, so, oh well. I feel like I should be doing something, but I can't think of what the hell there is to do besides putting a couple of cookbooks away and maybe rooting through more shit over here on the kitchen table. And that's probably a good idea. I should at least put the salt and pepper mills back on the top of the stove there. Yeah, that looks halfway presentable. So, I picked up another rose today while out grocery shopping. So I need to transplant this tonight and have it out on the balcony, or Nigel will assume that I got him a new salad bar. I don't know why. Nigel has eaten every rose I've ever had. He's a weird cat who does weird things. Yes, you, Nigel. He's way over there on the other side of the front room, right in front of the door to the balcony. It's because he knows his salad bar is out there. All right, what the hell can I do in 45 minutes or less? Actually, probably closer to 40 now. That time is set. All right, I sold another book on eBay today, and I'm gonna put this little pair up on there soon. Hopefully tonight. Hopefully I'll remember to get this done tonight. Little pair of Monster High dolls. I finally looked up the names for these two, and it seems even unboxed. It seems like about 40 is not an unreasonable price to see these listed at anyway, so I'm gonna lowball it, gonna start at 30 or something and see if that makes them sell faster. Okay. Oh yay, it's a Pete 1. Oh, what you doing, little noodle? We're now. Is you a goofy little foofball? Okay, so that for the garbage, and gonna move this previously frozen oven fresh pizza, and so I still need to make a new kitchen rug, and I looked up on vintage crochet patterns.com or something. Maybe vintagecrochet.com. I don't know. It's a site I go to for all sorts of free vintage crochet patterns. And so I'm thinking I might want to put that up as a poll for the strange people who like to watch me on YouTube, especially since Sundays I often do some kind of crafty-ish project if I'm not picking up after myself and being a real grown-up adult who can do his own chores. So yeah, where was I going with that? Right, yeah, so I'm thinking I might narrow it down to like my personal favorite 3 designs for kitchen rug. I know it's going to be in red, white, and black just because that's how my kitchen is done up. Maybe some gray. Oh, that's right. I also so the jazz club. Hold on. There we go. Will this help? Not a whole lot, but so the jazz club puzzle that I did on stream over a few weekends, that's finally up on the kitchen wall. Awesome. I finally put that up. I don't know why it took me so freaking long. Oh yeah, the other one too that I did more recently. Oh, Siska, I think I'm going to take medicine and have breakfast. Oh, yeah, you do that. Yeah, my hair's got, I don't know, like another half hour or something. Oh, of course, gonna hug the kitties. Gotta hug the kitties. Yeah. So, yeah, I think I might do a poll for the kitchen rug design. Not sure. Haven't quite settled on whether I want to make it somewhat interactive, because I guess some people like the dumb things I do on stream even, and or if I'm just gonna find a pattern I like and do that. And speaking of patterns, so okay, I've got this book of broomstick lace patterns, which I bought on Etsy, I think. So yeah, it's, I want to say 1972, something like that. So yeah, I've got a, and and so it's got a pattern for this broomstick lace stole or shawl. It calls it a shawl, but the design is more like a stole, right? So I've been doing this goddamn thing. This goddamn thing has been trying on my patience so badly. In fact, I'm at a point where just to, like, I don't know, like, compensate my goddamn sanity somehow, I'm going to rewrite this pattern, like, just enough that, like, nobody's gonna try and copyright claim me on it. Especially since I think Coates and Clark is now owned by Red Heart. And Red Heart, I think, I don't know who owns Red Heart. But yeah. So yeah, like I think it was Coates and Clark that originally published this, like in like 1970 or something. But oh my god, this goddamn stole pattern has been trying on my patience. Like, I came to the point where I had like damn near finished it, or at least, you know, like the major portion of it. But then I noticed that it was about yeah, it was a good like 20 stitches off from what it said in the pattern book. And what happened there was it wrote that step, this one step that's repeated, like it wrote the increase row very poorly. Like, it wrote the increase row very poorly. So like I said, I'm gonna basically like rewrite that, put that up on my Etsy as like a pattern to buy. I'm gonna look up comparable patterns and see like what would be fair. I don't think I'm gonna like ask for more than $3 for that. So like if I sell like 2 downloads of that, that is going to recoup my sanity for, I mean, I think I paid like 5 or 6 for the book, you know, for the little booklet of broomstick patterns. So yeah, like, I don't know, like $2 a pattern, maybe $3, you know, $2 or $3 a download. You know, I can sell it like 3 times, maybe twice, depending on how I price, and it's gonna recoup my sanity, because this is just, like I said, they wrote the increase row wrong. They just straight up wrote it wrong. Yeah, they just straight up wrote it wrong. So I basically, because I'm very stubborn, I went back, unraveled it, and then I noticed like part of the way down that yeah, I noticed like 3 repetitions down, shit, I didn't unravel it far enough. And then I thought to myself, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna do like a random increase, well, semi-random increase on the next non-increase row. So I just like spaced a semi-randomish increase, like to the right of where the next increase row should have been, or where the next increase stitch would have been if it was an increase row. So yeah, it's one of those things where like I'm probably the only person who's going to notice it regularly, because I did it, I made it, I'm going to notice, right? And anybody else who notices it is only going to notice like if I explain to them that I messed up and had to insert a semi-random increase row down there. So it's like, if they know to look for it and then actually take the time to study, you know, the center section of the shawl where the increase rows are at, and then, you know, like so if you know to look for it and then you look closely enough for it, right? You know, unless you're somebody who just, you know, like has a Rain Man style brain where you can like count, you know, a large number of very small things very quickly. And I think the person who that's based on, you know, one of the two main inspirations for writing that character. He's currently believed that even though he was diagnosed with high functioning autism, that it's probably not autism, but a specific, different but similar kind of neurological disorder. But yeah, like he has that skill where like you can just like throw a box of toothpicks onto the, you know, like empty it out onto the floor and he can count it, and it's something like just like really rapid brain maths. Granted, he died a few years ago, so you know, it's very difficult to go and ask him how that works out in his head. But yeah, so it's like, unless you've got like a really exceptional mind when it comes to counting out, you know, something like that, you know, on first glance, or, you know, or you know to look for it, or you're me, you're probably not going to notice it. But yeah, like I said, like at that point, I was just like, you know what? It was only, you know, like I only needed to unravel it, I think like one more repetition down. So yeah, I was just gonna like, you know, insert, you know, and it only threw off the increase count by 5 stitches. So yeah, I just like inserted it into a otherwise non-increase row. Scott asks, we need a graveyard girl dressed as Hunter S. Thompson. Oh my god, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. I saw that she had a video where she cut her hair, and I'm not sure I want to watch that. It just, I don't know. Well, having long hair has always been such a big thing. For me, it's always, I don't know, it's just always been something that people have known me for. I didn't have my first haircut until I was 12, 13 years old, and even then I did it myself, right? Murnau, what you doing? Come here, little noodle. Little goofball. Murnau. Come to me. Come to me, little kitty cat. Come to me. Come here. Murnau. Goofy little goofball. Ah, whatever. Wish you would add the... Oh, yeah, the black panel she had in back. I remember that. Oh, I gotcha. Who's a kitty? But yeah, like, having long hair has always just been, like, such... I feel like, I don't know, like, almost vicariously hurt when I see, like, people with very long hair get an extreme cut. So, I don't know, I'm gonna feel weird when I get around to watching that. Right. What, do I smell like hair dye? Is that it? Is that why you wish to flee? Is it? Oh, poor little noodle. I love you. You're a cutie. You're a cute little noodle. Murnau is a goofball. Oh, fine. Okay. I'm gonna go check my timer. I mean, granted, it's way in the bathroom, so I can't hear it from out here, but... Oh, yeah. Okay, sweet. It has been running. I need to figure out which bag I packed my kitchen timer in, because it's been a few days and I still haven't found it. I've brought a couple various bags in. I want to know what the hell this toy is that he found, because I saw it like go flying up into the air about 3 feet last night. It's one of those things where you wish you had cameras on your cats 24 hours a day, because they do like all the neat shit when you don't have a camera on them. But yeah, like last night this toy just flew like 3 feet into the air, and one of them leaped up a little bit to grab it on its way down. And he's throwing some toy around right now, and I can't see what it is. And I'm like, do I remember even getting this for them? I mean, it's clearly a cat toy. It makes a sound like one, but I'm like, I don't even remember getting this for them. Like, where did it come from? One of the great mysteries of life, I suppose. Now, what's up, little noodle? Oh, what's up? Yes? Is you so silly? You just silly little boy. Yes, you are. You are. Don't deny it. Don't deny it. Oh. He's got something. I don't know what it is. I mean, okay, to be fair, I can't see it right now. He's holding on to it behind a book. Silly cat. Yeah. I think this weekend I'm going to make some ice cream. Or maybe a sorbet. Do I have enough frozen fruit to make a sorbet? No, nope, nope. Toaster cord, you stay up on the thing. Actually, I do have that big old bag of frozen blueberry. Ooh, you know what? I could, I'll wait now. I wonder if I could make a, yeah, I could probably try a sherbet. I know I know sherbets are usually done with a, then again, you see raspberry sherbet a lot, right? Because, like, you usually associate a sherbet with citrus, like, you know, like orange sherbet, lime sherbet. I've seen pineapple sherbet a lot. But yeah, like blueberry, and I should have a can of coconut milk. I could use for that. Yeah, that could work out great. Like a coconut blueberry sherbet. And it'll be vegan because, you know, it's coconut milk rather than dairy. And the only reason I do, to be fair, the main reason I do it with coconut milk is just because I have a can and I don't have any immediate ideas what to do with it. Speaking of shit to do with, so okay, couple weeks, few live streams ago, whatever, like the non-Tuesday ones. So I'm doing my my thing, my on the stove, my coconut pecan frosting for my German chocolate cupcakes for my birthday, right? And I could only find the one bag of coconut flakes. Last week, I found the other bag of coconut flakes. Of course I did. Of course it only came up like a week later, or, you know, a couple weeks later, and I'm just like, really? Really? But yeah, so, considering that, I decided, so I've seen people recommend like brownies, like variations on boxed brownies, and so like one of them is like recommends like mix some peanut butter with, I don't know. Like mix some peanut butter with something to make it a little bit more solid, and then ribbon it through the brownie batter before you put it in the oven. So I was thinking of doing something like that, but with my coconut pecan frosting, I make, you know, like German chocolate brownies. Even though the name is misleading, it's not a German recipe. It's purely an American. It's an all-American thing, and the reason that it's called German chocolate is because it's from the German brand confectioner company. Like, I can't remember if it was founded by German immigrants or if their last name was German, you know, as in German, like if that was the family's last name. But yeah, so like they created the coconut pecan frosting. I think it was like a family recipe, but then they started canning it, and so and so they devised their German branded chocolate cake as a vehicle for the coconut pecan frosting. So yeah, it's a purely American thing. But at the same time, it's so fucking yummy. But
Hi, what you doing, little goofball? I see you. You a silly little boy. Yes, you are. Yes, you a silly little noodle.
so yeah, I'm thinking I want to try that with my German chocolate frosting, my coconut pecan frosting, and like ribbon it into some brownie batter. Had German chocolate cake for my birthday. Oh yeah, that's my birthday cake. It has been since I was about 8 years old. So my mother and I used to do it, and then I started doing it by myself when my mother left the picture. Oh my gosh, people are always so thrown off about my age, like, just to look at me. Um, for a while, I had a psychiatrist who just like, or at least like the first time I sat down with him, he was just like, "Wait, they're like your mother coming out as a later in life lesbian. Like that's no reason to deny custody." I'm like, "Dude, this was Ohio in 1990. Like, keep in mind, like, like." And he's like, "Wait, you were how old?" I'm like, "I was like 10 or 11 that summer." And he looks at my file and he's like, "Oh, indeed you were." I'm like, "Yeah," like, so yeah, like that's one of the reasons that I've been messing with people about my age for the last, how old am I now? About the last 10, maybe 15 years if you want to like go back to like the first time I consciously did so. But yeah, I've been messing with people about my age for about 10, 15 years, something like that, just because like I run into a lot of cases where people will like meet me and not believe I'm as old as I say I am, but about half the time, if I give them a slightly older age, they'll believe that and then tell me that I look really good for my age. But like the other half the time, like, like they like I'll tell them my real age and they'll insist that, like if I tell them my real age, they'll insist that I look, that like there's no way I'm like, no, seriously. But okay, whatever. You're right. I'm actually like 3 years older than I said than I actually am, right? So, I don't know. It's just so fucking weird, and but at the same time, I wouldn't keep doing it if it didn't entertain me. Okay, so I got things to put up on eBay before I go to bed tonight. There's also, I swear to God, there's a goddamn garlic hot sauce. It is somewhere in this fucking apartment, but I can't find it. Yes, Murnau? You dropped it. You dropped it on the other side of the bag. You dropped it over here. Here, let me get it for you. I took a good look at it. I do remember getting this toy. It's a toy that is like designed to encourage cats to pull it apart, and Murnau's kind of destructive. So I figured, okay, he should love this. And yeah, he like pulled the big kind of like it's an extra heavy hold on, let me see if I can find it. It's kind of ribbony, but that sounds odd, and it's not yarn, because where did it go? Where did you throw it? What did you do with the news? There it is. Okay, so there's this part that gets wrapped up inside the little strip that's got crinkle paper in it. Then there's a little catnip mouse that velcros the thing with the crinkle paper. And so he finally pulled this out, pulled the crinkle paper thing apart, and now it's his favorite thing in the world. It's still got the little catnip mouse velcro to the inside of it. But yeah, like this is his favorite thing in the world. This is apparently what he threw up into the air about a good like 3-4 feet the other night, and then either him or Nigel reached up and grabbed it on its way down, and he's been throwing it around the front room for the last hour and some, and he's just having a blast. So excellent. I made a great choice in cat toy. Of course, as soon as he dispensed with this part, as soon as he dispensed with this, it's now his favorite thing in the world. And he's just like, whoa, what the shit? And here's the funny thing is, like, I gave him this toy like a month ago. Like, maybe, yeah, a little more. No, wait, yeah, this was something I got at the beginning of July, not at the beginning of this month. At the beginning of this month, I got the, oh shoot, that's right, I already shot it into the front room. That's still a big fucking mess. But yeah, it's a little, it's kind of got bat wings on it, but it's purple, right? And it's got a thick elastic part that you just kind of like, you know, you kind of slingshot it, right? And that's what I got them at the beginning of this month. But yeah, like, it took more now like nearly 2 months to decide that this is his favorite thing in the world. And it's like, I knew this was going to be a hit with him when I got it for him, but for like the first, you know, for the first like 5 weeks or so, he's just been like, eh. But no, he finally pulled this part out and got all the, and opened up the Velcro on the part with the crinkle paper inside, and now he's just like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing! And that's cats, right? Of course, oh shit, did I post that on, that is something I should have posted on Instagram if I did not. Yeah, my new sheets, well, they're not new anymore, but, yeah, like when they were first new, and like the first time I put them on the bed, I hadn't even slept on them yet. I came home and somebody upchucked all over my sheets while I was out. And of course, my friend Billy, he responds that that he and his husband have agreed that this is the most cat thing for a cat to do. And I say, yeah, I cannot argue with that. I cannot make an argument, you know, against that. That is definitely the most cat thing I've seen any of these three do. And the thing is, I don't know who did it. Probably Phoebe, just because she seems to upchuck a bit more than the other two. She also seems to have a sensitive tummy. She's the one who's the reason I have to get grain-free cat food, or she farts all day. And so it's possible there was something that, oh, you know what? I do pay less attention to the treats that I get them, just because I more strictly portion control the treats. Whereas like with the wet food, in theory with the wet food, they get about 2 ounces of food. No, more like in theory they get about 1.5 ounces per serving, but more often than not, I just kind of eyeball it on the wet food. So, and then the kibble, that's just like out free feed all day long. So, I mean, they don't eat all day long, thankfully, but it's like it's there if they want to take a nibble here or there. So, but yeah, like the treats I more tightly portion control. So yeah, it might have been a time when I got some treats that might have been a little bit grainy, you know, as far as ingredients go, and they've been grain-free for so long that, you know, like whatever was upsetting her stomach and making her fart all day long from grainy cat food, you know, might have like cause some sensitive stomach issues. That seems to be the most likely explanation anyway. What the hell? Okay, there was a third dish. I swear I brought it out here when I was making their treat balls. I say making their treat balls, filling their treat balls. Oh, right there on top of the punch dispenser. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, this says I've got 10 more minutes. And I know I went a little bit longer than it says on the box, but I've been using boxed hair dye I've been dyeing my hair, shit. How old am I now? Since I was 15, so we're looking well over 30 years at this point. Shit, yeah, well over 35 years at this point. Yeah, 14 or 15 when I started dyeing my hair, so I haven't seen my natural hair color since, well, over 35 years ago, right? So I generally know how long it should take. And like I said, I know I set it for about 10 minutes longer than the box says I needed it to, and all of that happy horse shit. So I don't know. I'm probably going to wrap up in a couple minutes, like probably before the timer goes off here, just because, I don't know. I feel like I should be saying something, but I can't think of what to say. And I know there's like 4 people in the stream chat right now, or so it says. But like nobody said anything for a while, and I don't know. I'm kind of like at a loss for words for a change, and it's been almost an hour, and I still have shit to do tonight. Like listing the Monster High dolls on eBay and repotting this rose before Nigel decides that, discovers that that I brought home a new salad for him. I don't know why Nigel has eaten every rose I've ever brought home, but he does. He's a strange cat who does strange things. Other than that, feel free to check out all of the links in the description box, etc., etc. eBay, Etsy, all that shit. If you have more dollars than cents, but Patreon, a minimum of $3 a month for a minimum of 3 months, and you'll get a sticker saying I monetarily support DJ Spooky Pants 3-hour radio hour on WFKU, and like Patreon will automatically send you one of those. So wear your sunscreen, otherwise take very good care of yourselves. Extra thanks to current roster of Patreon supporters being Susie Bika, Canadian cartoonist, illustrator, and artist, Ali Valkyrie, American expat living in France and anti-capitalist activist, and Karen L, just really nice lady from YouTube who thinks I'm neat for some reason, and Bats and Kisses, Borda Achwil.